Okay, I've just created a new jambonz mini here, and something that we all often want to do is set up TLS encryption for the web page, the portal, and also for SIP, maybe to listen for SIP over TLS and for SIP from WebRTC clients. So I'm just going to go through the steps to do this on a pristine system that I just generated. Here's the information about the system. Let's see if I go to outputs, I can see the IP address that it got created at. So first let's set up DNS records for that. This needs to be done in any case. Anyway, so set up a DNS record for jambonz.xyz. That's the URL that I'm using. And also for api.jambonz.xyz and grafana.jambonz.xyz and also sip.jambonz.xyz. So I set up all of those A records so that I'll be able to log in. Go back here, the initial login password is going to be the instance name. So let's go to, or actually let's SSH in is what we want to do. Going to SSH, oops, into this new server. Oops. And what was that IP again? So, okay, so this server has just been launched. Haven't done anything with it yet. Have set up the IP addresses in the DNS record. That's all I've done. So the first thing is, let's just do sudo certbot --nginx. This is going to basically, I'm using Let's Encrypt. This is going to get TLS certificates for the portal. You can see it went into the nginx config. It found these host names, asked me if I want to get TLS certificates for any one of them or all of them. I want all of them, so I leave them like that. Oops, Homer. Forgot about Homer. Not really necessary anymore because we provide that, but let's go ahead and add one for Homer as well. Oops, what am I doing here? I want to start. Sorry, hold on, close. I want a new one. I want to edit that one. I want a new one for Homer. Submit. Close. Okay. Let's try that again and see if we get better result. Yes. I want all of them. So I went off and got certificates for all of them. It updated nginx. Now I do need to do one other thing. I need to go into the web app and edit the .env file because right now it's saying the base URL is HTTP. Now the base URL is HTTPS. And then I need to do npm run build and pm2 restart the web app. Okay, so there we are. So just two things. Again, I ran certbot with the --nginx so that it would read the nginx config file, see all of the servers that we're hosting, all the virtual hosts, go off and get TLS certificates for all of them and install them. And then I just edited the .env file in the jambonz web app to be HTTPS. With that, now, let's go back here and get that password again. Now I'm able to log in if I go to jambonz.xyz, and we can see we've got TLS connection secure. Put in the initial password, I can log in, and I'm forced to change it. We'll go ahead and change it. on the first login. And I've got my new system up and running under HTTPS. Now, doing SIP over TLS is one more step. So let's go back and let's do that as well. For that, I'm going to want to get a TLS certificate for sip.jambonz.xyz. And in fact, I'd like to get a wildcard certificate so I can also create subdomains under that and have a wildcard cert that will work for all of those. So for that, I use a different command, which I've copied here. Basically, I'm going to use certbot again. Use certbot again, but in this case, I'm going to use DNS challenges. So it's going to say, and I'm saying that I want a wildcard, anything startup sip.jambonz.xyz, as well as just sip.jambonz.xyz. So the first thing is now I got to go into my DNS and create a TXT record. So let's go back to, I use DNS made easy, but obviously that's personal preference. I already had some of these. Let's get rid of them. And let's add a TXT record like it said. So I've got one with this value. And of course, these TXT records just prove that I own the domain. If I do that, it's going to ask for another one, ask for a second one. And we'll put, we'll put that one in as well. And now it's saved my certificate. So that's the first step. There are two more steps. Next thing we need to do is edit the Dractio config file to reference those TLS certs. They're going to go inside the SIP section in a TLS tag, which I always have trouble remembering, so I'm going to copy that out. It looks like this. It's basically just referencing those same locations that it just spelled out for me. Oops. And we have a key file, cert file, chain file. So that's one thing. Actually, let's sudo root to do this. The other thing we're going to do is tell Dractio when it starts to listen on some new ports for SIP over TLS and SIP over WebSockets. So go into the Dractio.service file. I'm going to change the exec start command. By default, we're listening for UDP, TCP on that standard port 5060. So let's just copy that. And let's say we're going to listen for SIP-S because it's going to be encrypted. Port 5061 TLS. Now we're listening for TLS 5061, and then by convention, I listen for SIP over WebSockets 8443. Also SIP-S because again, it's encrypted. It's not TLS now, it's WSS. Okay, so I've added these two additional endpoints that I'm going to listen on. I'm still listening on the default UDP port of 5060 for SIP over plain SIP over UDP. Now I'm also listening for SIP over TLS on 5061 and SIP over secure WebSockets on 8443. That'll be the WebRTC clients that connect. So we save that. I'm going to do daemon reload. So we made a change. Systemctl restart. Dractio, and we're good. System CT, it's wrong somewhere. System, oh, status Dractio. Oops, status Dractio. There we go. And we're now listening. For that, usually we can see that, but it hasn't logged yet. So those are the changes. So just to summarize, with two commands, we changed the system to listen for portal traffic on HTTPS rather than HTTP. We did that by using the certbot command with the --nginx option to generate certificates for us and update the nginx config file. And then we manually updated the env file in the web app, rebuilt it, and restarted it. And then secondly, we added support for SIP over TLS as well, and we generated a wildcard certificate showing a different way to do that on Let's Encrypt by adding some TXT records. And then we updated the dractio.conf.xml file to indicate the location of the TLS files, and then we updated the dractio.service file to indicate that we wanted to additionally listen on port 5061 for TLS and port 8443 for WSS. That's it.